Okay, good evening, everyone. It is 17 after 7 p.m. And I hereby call to order the January 2023 meeting of the Village of Tivoli Board of Trustees. Would you please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. The first thing we have tonight is actually a public hearing. Do I open this and then read the notice, or read the notice and then open it?
I would open it and then read the notice.
Okay. Is there a motion to open this evening's public hearing on the wastewater system project? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Notice of public hearing, Village of Tivoli. Please take notice that a public hearing will be held by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Tivoli on January 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m. local time at the Village Hall, 86 Broadway, Tivoli, New York, 12583, to hear all interested persons regarding the proposed wastewater system project. The project is proposed to include the complete replacement of the existing wastewater treatment facility with a new facility at the DPW site at 26 Public Works Drive. The Village Board has reviewed an addendum dated December 8th, 2022 to the amended Environmental Assessment Form Part 1 and the Coastal Assessment Form. In conjunction with its review of the project under seeker, the Village Board will undertake a review of the proposed action in order to determine whether and to what extent the Town of Red Hook and the Village of Tivoli's zoning laws apply to the proposed project, taking into account the 9 factors set forth in matter of County of Monroe versus City of Rochester as follows. 1, the nature and scope of the instrumentality seeking immunity. 2, the encroaching government's legislative grant of authority. 3, the kind of function or land use involved. 4, the effect of local land use regulation would have on the enterprise concerned. 5, alternative locations for the facility in less restrictive zoning areas. 6, the impact upon legitimate local interests. 7, alternate methods of providing the proposed improvement. 8, the extent of the public interest to be served by the improvements. And 9, intergovernmental participation in the project development process and an opportunity to be heard. All interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard in person by directing comments in writing to the Village Board, 86 Broadway, Tivoli, New York, 12583. All reasonable accommodations will be made for persons with disabilities. In such a case, please notify the village clerk in advance at the above address or by phone, 845-757-2021, so that arrangements can be made. Please take further notice that copies of said addendum to the amended EAF and CAF are available for review at the office of the village clerk, Village Hall, 86 Broadway, Tivoli, New York, 12583, by order of the Village Board of the Village of Tivoli dated December 8, 2022. Robin Bruno, Village Clerk, Village of Tivoli. So that was our notice for this evening's hearing, and the hearing is open, and at this time, if there's any comment from the public, we are listening. And usually when there isn't, we like to keep this open for 10 minutes at least, just in case somebody walks in the door.
And then I am going to recommend that you keep the hearing open.
Yes, we're going to continue.
8.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Ms. O'Connor, did you have a comment?
Well, I'm surprised because I had it in my calendar for Tuesday, the 24th. Was that a previous notice and you changed the date?
No, this is a totally different event, actually. So the big sewer meeting, when everyone can learn about the plant and the cost of it, that is next Tuesday at 6:30. This is a public hearing on the seeker process related to that project.
And the Monroe.
So it's,
Thank you.
yeah, it's a little confusing, I'm sorry. We are planning to not actually close this hearing tonight, but keep it open until the 11th. Excuse me, the 8th of February. So after next Tuesday's meeting, when everyone is very up to speed on the sewer plant, they can come back and also participate in this same hearing, which we're opening tonight, but continuing into next month.
This really is about whether or not to subject this project to zoning requirements, right?
And the
It's a
DC,
public project.
the DCWAA will be at the next meeting?
Yes, that's
On the
correct.
24th,
Right.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
the info meeting.
So any comment for this particular public hearing, which will be continued? But if not, we'll vote to continue the public hearing on February 8th. Is there a motion to continue the public hearing on the wastewater system project at 7 PM on February 8th?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the public hearing has, will continue on the 8th, and now we'll get into the rest of our January meeting here. Couple announcements. So I want to thank Deputy Clerk Laura Gail Tyler for sitting in for Clerk Bruno tonight. The Deputy Mayor is out of town, and we are also joined in our first official meeting in his new role by our newest trustee, Bill Schilling. Thrilled to have you with us, Bill.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
His predecessor, Trustee Susan Ezrati, resigned at the end of 2022, and as mayor, I have the power to appoint someone to finish a vacant term, and I'm very grateful to you for saying yes to that. There are only 3 months left in this term, so some of us are going to be running again real quick, including Bill. So, okay, so trustees, in our binder, we have some minutes to approve. These are the January 18th regular meeting minutes.
Isn't that today?
Yeah, okay, so here's a typo.
21st, right?
Good catch. Let's approve the minutes before we have them. This should read the December 21 minutes. Is there a motion to approve the December 21 minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on to the treasurer's report. I want to thank Treasurer Day, who, with the deputy clerk and myself, are holding down the office this week. This month, the village spent out of the A fund $39,955.69, and out of the capital fund $4,187.50, for a grand total of $44,143.19. Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Trustee Baldino, is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Mangieri, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to a zoning report. Trustee Schilling, please.
Okay, I'm going to read, this is the monthly report from the Code Enforcement Department. Building permits reviewed, 9. Building permits issued, 8. Complaints, 2. Complaints investigated, 2. Zoning property maintenance violations, 1. Appearance tickets, 0. Municipal searches, 3. Inspections, 8. Code enforcement training provided by Z3. Fire inspections, 0. Also, building permits reviewed, this is for, building permits reviewed, 4. Building permits issued, 4. Complaints, 0. Complaints investigated, 0. Zoning property maintenance violations, 2. Appearance tickets, 0. Municipal searches, 3. Inspections, 9. Code enforcement training provided by Z3. Fire inspections,
No, yeah. Great. Thank you, Trustee Schilling. And that we had two months worth there. So the first one was December of last year, and this was this month. Okay, tonight's agenda, we have a single item, which is authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Tivoli and Kotzebue International Dance Center for a trail agreement. At this time in our meeting, we'd like to open the floor to public comment, but restricted to our agenda items. So if anyone would like to comment on this trail agreement we are looking to sign, we're eager to hear from you. Yes, Kathy?
Well, That, I think that may have been their name 10 years ago, but they're now known by Cotsbon Cultural Park?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they've legally changed it to that or not, so we'll check that and make sure that we're signing an agreement with the correct entity. But, yeah. Any other public comment? And remember, you can go again at the end of the meeting on this or anything else, so, okay. So we will jump in there. Trustees, we discussed this in our workshop. So a little history on the trail. You know, this trail was first getting done in the aughts, I believe under Mayor Cordier. It's sort of waxed and waned over the years and different administrations here and different regimes at Cotsbon, and it's sort of, you know, it's been sleeping unused for a while, but I know that I've been very eager to get this reopened for my entire time as mayor. And we're pleased to be working with some great people at Cotsbon right now, including their new director, Tricia Reed. We've been able to meet and sort of pick this up again, dust it off, and try and get it going. So with that, if we can get this agreement in place, then we can improve that trail, open it to the public, hopefully this spring, and hopefully it'll be a nice amenity for the village connecting to the Empire State Trail and Tivoli Bays and whatnot. So, trustees, is there a motion to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Village of Tivoli and Cotsbon for a trail agreement?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll do a roll call vote, please. Trustee Baldino?
Aye.
Trustee Mangieri?
Aye.
Trustee Schilling?
Aye.
And I also vote aye. The resolution is adopted. We're going to send this back over to Cotsbon, whatever their correct and current name is, and hopefully
We'll go by
they'll-
the deed. the
We'll
property
go by
deed.
the deed, exactly, yeah. Hopefully they'll sign it, and I know that they are hoping to quickly put in for a Greenway Trails Development Grant to help cover some of that. And we will be, once they've signed, we will be creating a little committee. I believe the deputy mayor is going to serve on that. Perhaps you might be interested.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in serving on that committee to sort of, you know, we know there's going to be a trail now, everybody said yes, but where exactly, you know, what amenities do we need? Discuss the signage, what do the trailheads look like, trash policy and whatnot, so. And some other details, this trail is not going to be for any kind of motorized anything, so dirt bikes, snowmobiles, etc. Our next board meeting will be held Wednesday, February 15th at 7 o'clock, preceded by a workshop at 6 p.m. right here at the historic Otstapeister Hall. And we have a regular workshop on February 8th at 7 o'clock, which is also going to be the continuance of the public hearing on the sewer plants. Moving into trustee reports. Trustee Baldino, do you want to read the court report and you can do the police report?
Sure. I did the police report last time, it was satisfying.
Okay, all right.
So this month, the total money collected and remitted to the state comptroller, $2,395 in fines, $493 in surcharges, 0 in civil fees, for a total of $2,888.
Thanks. And I want to, just looking over the tickets that came through the courtroom, there were 2 convictions of the village noise ordinance.
Is that right?
Yep.
There's a few open container.
A couple of containers, lots and lots of stop signs, and which
Distracted traffic device, which I believe is a cell phone.
Yeah.
Texting.
So what we're seeing here is the new presence of the Red Hook Police Department and how much,
Just curious where the noise ordinance, what was the location?
yeah, that's not given to us in this, to sort of protect the
Yeah.
defendant, but it's always nice to know that if you write a law, it does get enforced all the way through, from the legislature through the judiciary. Okay, thank you, Trustee Baldino. Trustee Mangieri, the police report.
So for the month of December, there were 18 incidences. There was 14 uniform traffic stops, 9 parking tickets were issued, and there were 2 arrests.
Thank you very much. Um, If our esteemed deputy mayor were here, she would do a better version of this. Tivoli Free Library, great stuff, go there. Claremont State Park, great stuff, go there. That's my little tribute to her.
There's lots of mud.
Tivoli Bays, muds and ticks. Exactly, I forgot, kind of got those 3 buckets, right?
Yeah.
Very good. She'll
Lots
do-
of mud though.
Lots of mud. And
Would you do the ad for the Elmendorf, for having an event on Friday night?
I think she would. Would you like to speak on her behalf?
All I'm aware of is that there's an event on Friday night at the Elmendorf, which is music at 7 to 10, but you have to make a reservation.
Okay.
Dessert, I think it was, right?
Music at the Elmendorf, 7 to 10, on which date? This Saturday? This Friday.
Make a reservation.
Okay, excellent. Elmendorf is always a cool place to hang out if you haven't been there.
Yeah.
Trustee Schilling, I skipped over. Anything you'd like to say
No.
or share?
I'm good, thank you.
I wanted to ask about the food donation.
Yes, all right. So we had a wonderful food and clothing drive here last Saturday from 12:30 to 3:30. This was part of an MLK Day of Service, Martin Luther King, obviously. And we worked with with Bard College, and we had, I think, they told me 8, but I think I had 12 first-year students who were back for their intensive science over, like, between the semesters.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the opportunity to go volunteer at various places off campus. So the ones who came to Village Hall were a tremendous help. I was overwhelmed by the amount of donations we had. I stuffed both my vans full.
Nice.
So, 20 boxes of cans, rice, oil, shampoo, peanut butter, applesauce, tuna cans, everything, as well as 20 huge leaf bags of clothing, shoes. Saw a very large pair of slippers come through.
Oh, we did boots.
You did boots, yeah.
Boots,
There were some nice slippers in there.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah, well, generous to donate them. So, yeah, it was just, it was a blast. And we had so much help from Red Hook Responds, from Dan Budd, and from Neville Smythe. I had not done one of these things before. I called those guys up and they told me exactly what to do, and it really went off just great. And I certainly hope we do it every year. It seems like the middle of winter after the holidays is like a really good time. Maybe people just got some slippers they didn't want, or we've hopefully all enjoyed, comfort and bounty through the holidays, and it's a good time to think about everybody else right afterwards. So yeah, thanks to the Bard students who came over. I hope they'll come back to Tivoli. For many of them, it was their first time in the village. Our speed study is underway that the village is working on. You may have seen the snakes they put across the road in various places to record speeds. The village hired Creighton Manning, an engineering firm specializing in traffic studies, to do this study. The reason we have to do a study is because we are trying to take advantage of the fact that there was a change in the state law which allows municipalities to lower the speed limit, which forever had been at 30 was the minimum. Now we can go down to 25. And I certainly feel very strongly that we should just make it 25 throughout our village, given the walking, the biking, the children,
The pets.
of all ages, the pets, the proximity of the driveways and road cuts. There's no reason not to let everybody slow down and enjoy the village more. So that state law does require a traffic study. That should be done. We might have the study at, next month. And so then we will get our local law queued up. There will be a public hearing on that. So if you think we ought to lower the speed limits to 25, I hope you will come and support the legislation. And if you think we should not, please come and tell us what you think and why, and we will listen. And the drainage study, which we sort of got going last summer, we did phase 1, we're in phase 2 now. Phase 1 was identifying all the infrastructure we have, every catch basin, every outfall, all the pipes, where they are. We got a map of that. There was a condition assessment. This catch basin needed to be fixed yesterday. This one probably should check next summer. A lot of that work has happened with DPW. They've been working on those catch basins. And we also had done a community survey where people could write in and tell us, what they're experiencing in terms of flooding and drainage around their village and where they live. So that was phase one. Phase two, which is underway now, and it sort of slows in the winter because water behaves differently when sometimes it's frozen and sometimes it's flowing. It'll kick back up again in the spring. Phase two is the hydrological and hydraulic analyses. Thank you. If I could tell you which is which. So, you know, how much water is coming out of the sky and hitting our village, and then how much is traveling through our stormwater infrastructure, those two analyses. So then I expect there will be a phase three, which is, okay, we know what's happening, which specific projects do we need to consider undertaking to make actual improvements. So we're really doing this professionally from the ground up, trying to catch everything, because I think everyone can agree the flooding that has been experienced throughout the village has only been getting worse. So we need to get ready for the effects of climate change and the kind of precipitation we're seeing in terms of intensity and frequency. Kathy queued me up for my big announcement, which is next Tuesday night, 6:30, right here in this room. Everything you wanted to know and more about our wastewater treatment project. If you haven't heard, we are entirely replacing the sewer plant with a new sewer plant. That sewer plant has passed its useful life, as they say. In big storm events, there's too much water going to the plant from both inflow and inundation, where there's, you know, it's just like the flooding. The groundwater rises, might flood your yard. Well, if our sewer line's going along and it's got cracks in it, roots, misaligned pipes from the old clay pipe, water gets in, and suddenly our little dinosaur ancient bubblegum and band-aided sewer plant, which on an average day is trying to do 75,000 gallons, in some of these big storm events, it's facing 1 million gallons a day that it's trying to process. We have had, you know, our relationship with the Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority. They've been operating this plant since 2019, and unfortunately, whereas way back when we started this journey in 2015, 16, 17, we were looking at repairing our plant, it has become obvious that that is not going to work or be good value, and we're better off, and we're actually forced with replacing the plant. We have had violations and exceedances in the DEC, so it's gotten quite dire. And next Tuesday, we are going to have some gentlemen from the Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority. We're also going to have the engineer who's designing the new sewer plant from a firm called Wright Pierce, and the village board will be here. And I'm sure it'll be a nice long 90 minutes, 2 hours or so. And we're going to have some slides, talk about everything that was wrong with the existing plant, why we need to replace it, the technology of the old one versus the new one, how the new one is an improvement. For example, our old plant, at the last stage of the treatment, before it goes into the Stony Creek, it gets blasted with chlorine. The new technology, it gets blasted with ultraviolet light to finish off those last few bugs that should get finished off. So that's one example of, you know, an improved technology. And then we will get into a discussion of how much this is going to cost, and how much that's going to be for all the users in your quarterly bills. And similar to the assessment that came this year on the water bill, there will be a similar assessment eventually on the sewer side of that. And to briefly explain those bills, you've got usage, which is how much you're using, and then we, all of us, the users, are also starting to pay back that loan on the water system. So those principal payments are expressed not from the usage, but from this assessment. So that's how those monies get split. And the same thing is, same structure is coming for the sewer plant in time. We have about 30 months to replace our sewer plant, according to the DEC. So I encourage everyone to come next Tuesday night. I'm grateful that Panda is going to come and film it for us, so we will be able to put that up so that people who can't come can follow along. And as we did with the water project together as a community, we took that on and we got where we got to. It's time to do it with the sewer. for real. I mean, we've been working on this for many years, but it's at hand now because that plant can't cut it anymore. Next Tuesday, 6:30. Anything else from the village board before I open the floor for public comment?
I don't have anything.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to welcome any public comment on any topic.
I have a biggie,
Okay,
and I thought it came at the end of the meeting. But it pertains to the fact that our assembly district is right now being under review by the New York Independent Redistricting Commission. And while our elected official is currently operating under the same map that we had prior to the past election in November, it will change in 2024. And there's a drastic change in the assembly, which will sever Red Hook and Rhinebeck from the western side of the Hudson. And I think our relationship with the city of Kingston, the number of BARD activities with Kingston would dictate that they reconsider severing Red Hook and Rhinebeck from the western side of the Hudson. Not only to say all the other maps, congressional, Senate, and the other two areas in Dutchess County which are linked to areas across the river, none of those were touched with the new maps, only ours. And they're having a series of public hearings on this matter, and they have none scheduled for the Mid-Hudson region. So if we want our voices heard, we have to open an account with the New York Independent Redistricting Commission and arrange to have our voice heard either in person or by Zoom, either next Wednesday, the 25th at 5 o'clock, or the following Tuesday, the following Tuesday, January 30th at 4 o'clock. The January 30th is going to be held at Pace University down in White Plains. So I am hoping that everybody I'm looking at in this room is going to be opening an account with the New York Independent Redistricting Commission and arrange to testify of your interest in this matter.
where can one see the new map that's being proposed for 2024, which would do this severing that you referred to?
They're on the nyirc.gov website.
IRC. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Learn more.
Register, bring a friend.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Any other public comment? Besides it's cold in this room? All right, with that, I want to thank everyone. Thank Deputy Clerk Tyler for taking minutes tonight. And we will see folks next Tuesday for the sewer presentation, and on February 8th at our next workshop for the continuation of this public hearing on the Seeker and Moreau related to the sewer plant project. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 7:46, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.